think the reason the community spirit was strong at them times was for the simple fact that you had to make your own entertainment. You only had the pictures. Any other entertainment it had to be involved around your neighbours and so forth. I think that was one of the reasons why it was fairly strong.
General procedure for carrying out quarterly winder tests. The first test to be taken is the brake test. The cages should be placed in the balanced position and the full pressure of steam applied. The brake should hold the drum against any movement in both directions. The second test is for time lag. Time lag between the engine trip and the closing of the throttle. For this test, a micrometer switch should be placed on the trip with the brakes in the off position. The other micrometer switch should be placed on the throttle with the throttle in the closed position. These tests should be taken with the machine paper speed at 16 centimeters per second.
Well, they were marvellous engines. Wheatley had two of the best winding engines, I would think, in the country. Well, one was a Roby, which was put in Wheatley Hill Colliery in about 1937, I think, built in Lincoln by Roby. That was a horizontal engine, by the way.
The test should furthermore be taken 3 times and an average of the 3 trips worked out. The brake should be released and the throttle pulled wide open with the cages in a balanced position in the shaft. At a given time, the automatic trip is operated and the lag taken between the trip and the full closing of the throttle. The next time lag to be taken is between the trip, the automatic trip that is, and the full brake application. Again with the cages in the balanced position, the brake is released and the engine tripped. This test should be taken again 3 times and an average worked out, again using 16 centimeters per second paper speed.
The steam pressure, that was the most important thing, the fact that you had steam available, and the steam pressure, that was all looked after from the boiler plant itself. And then in each winding engine you had a steam gauge, so the man operating the engine at all times could check if the steam was available. If it wasn't available, he wouldn't be able to operate the machine. The other engine on the other pit was a vertical engine built at Hartlepool, a marvellous engine. It went through like 3 floors. Now all these machines were powered from the new boiler plant, which was installed at about 1937. I can only assume that in 1937-38, Wheatley Hill Colliery had good prospects.
Now measure for the artificial landing. Run the cage 3 turns out of the bottom and place the collar into the overwind. The cage is now set on an artificial landing 3 turns from the bottom. For the benefit of the winding engine man, the drum is marked at this artificial landing. The paper speed for this test should be 8 centimeters per second. And we must make sure that the tachometer switch is in the right position for the cage ascending. On this test, we have the cage ascending out of the bottom at about 15 feet per second. When it reaches this speed, which can be judged from the graph, the manual trip is operated and the retardation taken.
they sent for me to go over to the winder. He couldn't lift the cage out the bottom. And when I looked up at the stain gauge, which the winder man hadn't bothered about it, there's no stain. And this was through the night. So without mentioning any names, I went to the boiler plant, and the boiler man was fast asleep. And so I woke him up with a fright, and he had to get the plant going again.